Hey folks, Ryan Gunness here. This is the training for P1 and P2 members. Okay, so I'm going to go through the training of the script. What's the activity that we do on a daily basis to generate incoming calls to us? All right, now before I jump into the script, okay, which is really the fundamentals, we're going to be talking about communicating with leads in the system. In your MLM Recruiting on Demand back office, under your contact manager, you can click on contact manager, and then you can click here to access your contact manager. That'll bring you into the contact management system. Now, as leads are entered into the system, you'll see the leads popping into your back office, and there's a lot of things you can do as far as management wise. And if you click on the video up here, I'll explain to you how to use the contact manager. Now, when the leads come in, the leads that we assign to you in the P1 and the P2 program, okay, you'll see the person's name. You'll probably see what company they may have been involved with in the past. You'll see their phone, their email address. You can, always hover over this so you can see the time that they were placed into your back office. This little pencil here will allow you to add some notes as you talk to those people. This little button here looks them up on Facebook. Now a couple things. One is their email address that we have may not be their current one. Okay, our system goes on the internet, finds network marketers, it goes to their website, and then captures their information. So some of this information may be outdated. Okay, phone numbers may be disconnected. Things like that happen. You're going to have your fair share of that. We have another video that kind of goes into the what to expect in the numbers so that you can have a good expectation. Alright, so that's your contact manager, and you can use this to stay organized as you're calling through your prospects. Okay, there's a place to keep notes like I was saying. Let's say we spoke to John and we realize that he has a new email address. We can go ahead and add that in here. So never assume that the email address that we have on file, never assume that that's the right one. In fact, I would say I've found that 70% of the times they don't even use that email address anymore. Okay, so always want to make sure that you get their current email address when you speak to them. Alright, so now calling these leads in the contact manager, only three things is going to happen. One is you're going to speak to them live. Two is it may go to their answer machine. And three is it may be a disconnected phone number, a fax machine, a fast busy, or it just keeps ringing. It doesn't go to any voicemail. Okay, and you can easily come in here and let's say this was a bad number, whatever. Let's say this is a bad number. You can easily click on the status. We're going to have a status here for bad numbers and disconnects. So you could just select that. Let's say that was the one, and you hit OK, and our system will update it. And then you can always filter through your leads so you can only see the ones. Let's say you only want to see your new leads. You can just filter through that and you only see your new leads, and you don't have to deal with seeing all the disconnects and all that stuff. Alright, so again, go through the video on how to use the contact manager so you can kind of get clear on the mechanics. Alright, so let's jump into the fun stuff, the script. Okay, now let's say, and I'm going to start with, let's say you got somebody's voicemail. Alright, so you're making your calls, and down at the bottom here, and you can always print this out so you have a hard copy. You get the person's voicemail. So let's say I'm calling, and let's say I get John's voicemail, and I'm going to kind of try to imitate a live call here. So I get John's voicemail, and it says, hi, this is John, please leave me a message. So here's the script that we're leaving. Hey John, this is Ryan Gunness. I came across one of your sites here, and I have a quick question. When you get a chance, give me a call. My number is 561 blah 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 blah. Thanks. Have a nice day. That's the script. Okay. Now, this script is it creates curiosity to get the person to call you back. This person, may be actively involved in the company right now, may not be so active. We don't know, but this is a good approach to get people to call you back. Now, we're not lying to the prospect. Okay, our system actually came across their site. That's how we got their contact information. Okay, and we're not saying that we want to join their business. We're not saying we have questions about their business. We're not saying anything like that. Okay, and we have a little note down here that kind of reinforces that so that you can get clear. I want you to be real clear on that. We're just trying to create some curiosity. Okay, and the script that I'm about to get into aligns perfectly with the fact that, hey, I came across one of your sites here and I got a quick question. When you get a chance, give me a call back. Okay, so feel free to tweak this a little bit into your language. If you need to move a word around or so, you can do that. This is the way I say it, and you want to stick to this format. It's quick. It's, I don't know, 10 seconds. 10-second voicemail. All right, people will call you back from that. And before I get into the call, let's go up here. Let's say you got somebody live that answered the phone. All right, so let's say John did answer the phone and he said, "Hello, this is John," or maybe he said, "Hello," and so not everybody answers their phone with their name. And this is what you would do. So if the person says hello, I would say, "Hello, is this John?" John says, "Yes." "Hey, John, this is Gunness. I don't believe we know each other personally. I was hoping that you can help point me in the right direction. The reason for my call is I live in Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm looking to expand my business. I'm in the network marketing industry. I understand that you've been in the industry at some point in the past, and I wanted to touch base with you to see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities." Okay. Now notice I didn't say everything word for word like how it's written out here. You can move things around just a little bit to tweak it, but you want to keep the psychology of this message intact. This has been tested, thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls, many, not just from me, but from many other, distributors and leaders in different companies, and we've tracked everything. And this is how we came up with what works and the least amount of words. Okay, now this is an optional piece that you can use. Okay, you can kind of use this if you need to. So let's say at this point, hey, John, I wanted to touch base with you to see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. And if yes, I can send you a quick link that explains the details. Okay, this line is an optional line. It is, sometimes it's a little bit of a crutch just to kind of help make the conversation a little bit easier when you're just starting off. But I personally don't use this anymore. If you feel comfortable not using it from the start, you don't have to. Okay, so again, you want to be able to internalize your conversation where you don't need a script in front of you, and you want to get really good at this. If you master this, I mean, you're dangerous. Okay, and it may take some time, and it could take a couple weeks. I've seen some people, even take a couple months to actually really get good at mastering that conversation where they didn't even need a script. If when you know that you really get it is when you could be driving in the car, and your kid's in the back screaming, and you take a call, and you can do this conversation here, with your headset on, because I said driving in a car, so I just realized that. So with your Bluetooth headset on, so you're abiding by the laws and whatnot. Okay, that's when you really get it. Okay, and that's where you want to get to. So we did, so I'd ask this question. I say, "Hey, John, just want to touch base with you, see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities." John says, "Well, I'll take a look." Okay, so this is one of the options. He could say, "Hey, I'll take a look," or he might say, I'm pretty happy with my current program right now, and we'll touch on that afterwards. But let's say John says, "Well, I guess I can take a look." Okay. Remember, we're not asking, to sit down and do a presentation or anything. We're just saying, hey, I don't know if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. I can send you a quick email. Not a very heavy question. John says, "Okay, I can take a look." This is where I transition. Okay, great. What's a good email address for you? So I'm getting John's email address. I'm not relying on whatever email address is written here, because this can be outdated. Okay, and I tell you, 9 times out of 10, 70% of the time, it is outdated. Okay, so John says, I say, "Okay, great. What's a good email address for you?" He's given me his email address. You can use the phonics system, which is like E is an Edward, X is an X-ray. You want to repeat it back and confirm that you got the right email address, because if you got a bad email address, then nothing happens. John doesn't get anything from you. Okay, so you get the right email address, and then this is the simple close. This is how you end the call. Okay, and we have an advanced one. But the simple close is, well, John, I'll be sending it from my, and this is where you put in your email address. So let's say my email address is ryan@123.com. I'd say, well, John, I'll be sending it from my ryan@123.com account, and the subject line will be per our conversation. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be in touch soon. Okay, so, and the reason why we say that per our conversation is inside of the contact manager. Let's say this was John, and I came in here, and I can edit his email address, okay, to the right email address that he has right now. Then I can click on actions, and if I click on this button here that John says yes to looking at my business, the system is going to automatically send him emails, okay, and if this was you, send him emails with the link to look at your business, okay, and you can click on this here to see what some of those messages look like. And then there's some special tracking that's happening that it'll check to see when John opens that email, clicks on the link, it'll let you know, so you know to follow up with him. Then it'll also put notes inside of here as he's doing things on your website and whatnot. So you get some real super duper tracking going on here to know who are the people that you need to follow up with. Alright, so very important. Wanted to touch on that. And again, the other videos up here really goes into more details on that. Alright, so that's the simple close. That's how you end the call. Alright, now let's say we wanted to get a little bit more advanced, and you can work your way up to this, or if you feel comfortable, you can jump into this right away. How that would work is John says, okay, I'll take a look. I say, okay, great, what's a good email? I get his email address, and after I get his email address, I say, well, John, I'll be sending it from my ryan@123.com account, and the subject line is going to be per our conversation. Okay, great. It'll probably take maybe about 15 minutes to properly cover the info that I'm going to send you. If I send it to you right now, when would you have a chance to take a look at it? John says, well, I can look at it later on tonight. Okay, great. Just to save some time for both of us here, may I make a suggestion? John says, sure. Okay, assuming that my business aligns well with you, let's set up a firm time for us to connect again so I can answer any questions you might have. Of course, if there's no interest on your side, just reply back to my email and let me know. We wouldn't have to waste any time here by keeping the appointment. Is that okay with you? John says, yeah, that's fine. Great. I would say 15 to 20 minutes should be more enough time for us to, connect again. So what's a good time for us to talk tomorrow for about 15 minutes or so? Now, notice I tweaked those words a little bit because I've been saying this so many times. You gotta play with this a little bit to your liking. All right, and then I let him pick a time. So I said, hey, what's a good time for us to connect again tomorrow on your site for about 15 minutes? John says, probably 10:30 in the morning. Great. So then I said, let me look at my calendar. I'm looking at my calendar, shuffle some papers, right? Okay, and I make sure that time is good. So I say, yep, that's a good time for me. Okay, great, I got you down for 10:30 a.m. So unless I don't hear back from you, otherwise I'll talk to you then. John, really nice connecting with you. I appreciate your time, and hopefully things are a good fit so we can connect again tomorrow at 10:30. Take care. Okay, so that's the advanced close where you're getting a commitment for them to look at your presentation, look at your website, and you have a firm follow-up appointment. Okay, if you do this correctly, you will have at least 50% of the people showing back up on your next call if you do this correctly. Okay, you'll see in my note here, there's a lot of psychology going on inside here. I mean, we said the time, he tells us the time, or they tell us the time, he or she, and then we say in the time at least 3 times back to them. So it's really drilling in that that's a solid appointment, and we're getting commitments from time and whatnot. Okay, so there's a lot of psychology, and as simple as this is, there's a lot of psychology going on. And that's the advanced close. Okay, now, let's say, so that's the call. That call, even with the advanced close, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes would be a lot. Okay, so you should be on and off the phone with everybody in 3 minutes or less, or maybe if you did the advanced close, 5 minutes. Okay, now, let's say after we did the little fishing question, which is, hey, wanted to touch base with you to see if you might be open to taking a look at any good opportunities. Let's say John came back and said, well, I'm really happy with the program I'm with right now. Not really open to looking at anything new. Okay, so he answers that, and that happens. Okay, what's really powerful with the MLM Recruiting Demand system is we have a very big net. We have another place to go. Most of the times, if people are prospecting and they're doing this activity, when someone comes back and says, hey, I'm not open to looking at anything else, I'm really focused on what I'm doing, most of the times you have nothing else to say. Most of the times it's kind of like, well, good luck. Let's keep in touch. It's really like you don't have a real way to handle that call, a real positive way. So with MLM Recruiting Demand, we have that, and it's really, really powerful. I think it's one of the most powerful pieces of the whole system. Okay, because you're gonna get your fair share of that as well. So John says, I'm really happy with the program I'm with. I say, okay, no problem. So now I'm jumping over to I'm happy, to this piece here, happy with their company. So scroll down here, happy with their company. So I say, okay, no problem. So John tells me, hey, I appreciate the call, Ryan. I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now. I'm staying focused. So I say, hey, no problem, John. What company are you with? John says, I'm with the ABC company. Great. How long you been with them? I've been with them for the last 2 years. Okay, John. Well, certainly I wouldn't want to distract you away from the ABC company. Question. I'm not sure where you're at with the business right now. Meaning, if I had people with network marketing experience that might be open to taking a look at your ABC business, are you in a good position to work with new people? John comes back and says, oh yeah, absolutely. Who's going to say no to that? This is a baited question. We know the answer to this question. Okay, now you want to get that, sounding natural. That's why it's very important to practice and really focus on your script. Stand in front of a mirror, say it to your dog, whatever it is. Okay, and get this down where you don't have to have the paper in front of you. Okay, so John says, yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then this is where I come back and I say, okay, great. I have a system that connects people like you and me to other network marketers. What I can do is shoot you out a quick link to it, and you can take a look at it and see if it's a good fit for your business. At very least, you might get a good laugh because you'll see how I was able to connect with you. Would you like me to send you that link? John says, sure. Okay, great. What's a good email for you? And I get the email address again, and then you do the simple close, okay, which I covered early on, or you could do the advanced close, and you're back in control of the conversation again. And then all you would do is inside of the contact manager, when you put in John's email address, you would go ahead and click on they want to take a look at the MLM Recruiting Demand system, and this will send out your affiliate link to them looking like it's coming from you. Okay, again, you can click here to see what those messages sound like, and it'll track if they clicked on it. It's going to let you know. It'll put notes and everything in there so you see everything that's going on. And on the back end, if the person comes into MLM Recruiting Demand, you obviously make some money for them doing that. But on the back end, when they come in, on every page on their website, it's going to have this bright yellow box letting them know that you refer them to the system, and they can click here to see the business that you recommend. And we see 100% of the people that come into the system actually click on this yellow box. Okay, and then the system notifies you that they did that. It puts notes in the contact manager. Now you can kind of follow up with them, on the back end. I'm not going to go too much into the back end into this conversation, but it's a powerful way to start a little conversation with someone, get some activity going on as well, especially for someone that was not really going to be looking at your business anyway because they focus on something else, and that's fine. Our goal is not to to try to distract people or take them away from something if they're focusing on it. Our goal is to build relationships with them because things happen. I know great people. I have lots of friends in different companies, and we don't try to distract each other, but things happen. Sometimes companies go out of business. Sometimes there's a change in someone's life, and if you're friends with them and they feel like you guys have a connection, they can always come back and get involved with you. So that's what you want to do. All right. So that covers what the call sounds like. Very, very simple. Okay, you can print this out. You can have this with you. Internalize it. You obviously want to internalize it where you don't have to have it in front of you. And once you get this thing mastered, I mean, like I said, you'll be dangerous. Okay, and you can just come in here now. Also with the MLM Recruiting Demand System, we offer unlimited leads for life. We have another video that explains that. But if you call through all the leads that we give you, and you're out of leads, and the way that you know that is when you're looking at your contact manager, it'll tell you, hey, how many leads we owe you. If this is 0, that means you're not getting any more leads added to your account. Okay, unless, if it's 0, if you get people opting in, you get more leads added to your account. But let's say you get down to 0. Okay, if you call all your leads and you put notes and you notate everything, you can always come in, click a support ticket, say, I would like some more leads. Support will come in, they'll check to make sure that you have notes and everything, and they'll give you another 100. So they'll make this populate to another 100. They'll put a little note in the history so you can see that, and you can request more leads for the rest of your life. We're going to reward people that are doing the right things. If you're engaged and you're building your business, we'll continue to reward you. So this is very, very powerful because you're building a team. You can have people, on your team. I mean, for $15, they can come in, get access to all this training, all the scripts to make them dangerous, and never be out of leads for life. If they're picking up the phone and calling people and whatnot, they can stay busy, and that's great because that's building their business, they're making money, and that's building your business because you override them, they're in your downline. Okay, so I wish it was more complicated. It's very, very simple. You just repeat the process over and over again. So for a home study program, you might expect to see some 5-hour video breaking down all these different things. We don't have that. This is a very, very simple business process and a very simple activity that people can do. Anybody can do that. Okay, so the next thing I would say is probably to take a look at the video that explains what kind of numbers you should expect, so that you can see. And I'll touch on it real briefly. Typically, if you were to call, let's say 40-50 leads, okay, which can take you about an hour, okay, because remember, you're not going to get everybody live, and you're going to get a bunch of disconnects and whatnot. If you was to call about 40-50 leads, in that process, between the callbacks and the people that you speak to live, you'll probably connect with anywhere from maybe 5 to 7 or 8 in that range of people that you would connect with. Okay, and then if you do the right numbers in the other videos that explain this, if you do this pitch correctly, okay, you should have at least 1 or 2 people saying yes to either looking at your business or looking at the marketing system. Okay, and that's only that's only probably working half hour, 40 minutes a day, doing this activity. If you step that up more, you can have 3, 4, 5, 6 people saying yes to looking at your business every single day. I promise you, this thing is it's crazy. It's so powerful, yet so simple. So I encourage you to not be afraid of this. I know a lot of people are afraid of the telephone. Not be afraid of this. Tell yourself, and don't be emotionally attached to the results right now. Tell yourself that, hey, I'm gonna make calls for the next 30, 40 days, okay, just to master the conversation, okay, and take your time. It may take that much time to really get good with the calls, okay. For some people it might be faster, for some people it may take a little bit longer, but if your goal is to build a large network marketing business so that you and your family can have the rewards of that, the financial freedom, the time to spend with your kids and your family, go on vacations and all that stuff. If those things are important to you, then it's worth it for you to do this, if this is a new activity for you. Okie dokie, Ryan Gunness signing out. Go make some calls right now. Okay.